What's up, y'all? Will here at Schedulefly, and this is the Restaurant Owners Uncorked podcast, brought to you by Schedulefly. We have a very simple restaurant employee scheduling software backed by legendary customer service. If you're on pencil and paper or Excel, on the other end of the spectrum, if you're on an expensive, cumbersome restaurant employee scheduling software with tons of bells and whistles and data and information that you don't need or don't use, give us a shot. 30-day free trial. You can sign up at schedulefly.com. My personal cell phone number is right on there. Give me a shout if you have any questions. Happy to help any way I can. Also brought to you by Pop Menu and by Kickfin. And you'll hear more about both of them in short order. But let's talk about Tim Tranthum at Wicked Weed Brewing in Asheville, North Carolina. Most people, when we start the episode and ask them when and why they got involved in hospitality, it's hey, I was 14 years old washing dishes and fell in love with it, or something along those lines. That's a very common origin story. So when I asked Tim, I got a bit of a surprise. Tim's been with Wicked Weed since 2019. That's his first bit in hospitality. Prior to that, he spent 26 years teaching high school math and coaching high school basketball. So what a cool story. Retired from that, jumped on at Wicked Weed, does a lot of stuff for them, and is a super interesting guy. So check out this fun episode with Tim. You can't listen to this and not want to go to Asheville, go to the Wicked Weed Brewery, do a tour with Tim, and learn the history. Learn the history about the wicked, pernicious weed that this brewery is named after. And if you haven't heard of Wicked Weed, if you're not in the Southeast, you're not in their distribution footprint and haven't heard of them, you will. Fast growing, great company, super well run, incredible culture, awesome people, and doing a lot of great work. So here you go. Tim Tranthum with Wicked Weed Brewing, Asheville, North Carolina. But before we jump in, let's hear from our Schedulefly partner and our sponsor, our lead sponsor here, Pop Menu. Pop Menu is, well, they're a partner of Schedulefly, and we have a lot of happy mutual customers. But Pop Menu is all about making your day easier and your sales bigger. They will simplify your marketing operations, bring in more guests, capture customer data for personalized remarketing to keep them coming back. With one super simple to use platform that integrates with most point of sales like Toast and Square and a number of others, Pop Menu starts with a beautifully designed, easy to update interactive menu that transforms the guest experience online. It includes a brand new website that's optimized for search engines like Google for no additional cost, automated digital marketing, online ordering and waitlisting, and you'll never miss another call with their AI answering solution that costs as little as 47 cents an hour. Check it out. Check out the link in our show notes. There's so much more in Pop Menu. Here's my 2 cents. I've talked to a lot of our mutual customers, and here's what they say about Pop Menu. Great company, great customer service, great product, great results. Check out Pop Menu and check out this episode of Restaurant Owners Uncorked. Thank you all for listening. See ya.
Morning, Will.
What's up, Tim? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fantastic, man. I'm fantastic. I'm glad to be doing this with you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. This is going to be fun.
Are you able to put your video on?
I don't know how to do that. Let's see. Share screen.
Yeah. No, not share screen. There should be.
Start video.
There you go. Now.
Yep.
Oh, check it out, man. What you got back there behind you?
Oh, they're a bunch of Wicked Weed bottles.
Bunch of Wicked Weed bottles. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, well, do me a favor. Just introduce yourself real quick.
Okay. Name is Tim Tranthum. I am a local here. Been with Wicked Weed for 4.5 years.
4.5 years at Wicked Weed. And what's your position with Wicked Weed?
All right. So originally I started just as a tour guide for our pup, and we did some big weekend tours as well too. And I've kind of been elevated into some other spots now too. I'd still do tours a couple of days a week, but I also do our beer education for our employees. So we have some classes that employees take on Mondays that educate them on the different styles, glassware, history. all that fun stuff too. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, okay, so what I always like to ask people to start out is, how and why did you get started in hospitality
Well,
initially?
I'll go with the why first. I'm a retired high school math teacher and basketball coach.
Oh, wow.
I did it for 26 years. I retired in 2019. I just felt it was a good time to get out. So I retired a little early, knew I needed to work and still had to work. And this opportunity came along. And so in April of that year, I was hired to start doing tours, and it's kind of blossomed from there. So that's how I got into this industry. So basically, obviously your service resco helps us with scheduling tours and all that fun stuff too. And that's where I'm at today.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. 20, wow, math teacher, and you said basketball coach?
Yeah, coach boys basketball for 26 years.
Have you been in Asheville all this time?
I was in Middle Tennessee for a while. So I
Middleton.
actually was in Nashville, coached a private school, then went to Murfreesboro. Then my last coaching job was in Hickman County, which is southwest of Nashville. And then I moved back to this area in 99. Yeah, I did grow up here, went to college and played college ball in Tennessee, and then coached for a little bit at the college level, but got a high school job, got married, kids came along, life changed.
Oh, dude, that is fantastic. That is definitely the most unique origin story. I mean, almost everybody that comes on here, it's amazing. I asked that question. It's like 80% of the time, well, I started washing dishes when I was 14, something like
Right.
that.
Right. Yeah.
You have quite the unique. Okay. Well, then, if you're doing tours of Wicked Weed, tell us about Wicked Weed. I mean, Wicked Weed is an incredible brand. I know of Wicked Weed very well. I live in Waxhaw, and I've been to Asheville a bunch. In fact, I just saw a Wicked Weed truck down at one of the local breweries in Waxhaw, I think like a couple months ago, maybe doing like a road show or something. So incredible brand. I think the business was purchased at some point, but give us like a little history of Wicked Weed. Sounds like that's right.
I can give you a little bit of the background history. It's really the company itself was started with two families. The Dickinsons were brewers, and the Guthys were the savvy business side.
Okay.
So we were, I guess our original opening date was December 28th, 2012. So we've been around a little over 10 years now, 10 and a half years, and have grown drastically from that particular point. Obviously, the acquisition from AB was a big deal in late 2017, which really allowed our distribution to blossom. At this point now, we're in 12 states, along with DC. Most of it is Northeast, Southeast. So quite a big size of distribution. So with that being said, obviously our facilities group started originally with a pub downtown Asheville, right next to the Orange Peel. From that, we also added the Funkatorium, which is now just our sour tasting room. Originally, that was going to be the place that we brewed our sours, because of course the use of Brettanomyces, contaminant in the clean sided beer world. So we always brewed them separate facilities. 2.5 years later, we outgrew that facility. So we actually, where I'm sitting today right now is the Funk House, which is our sour production facility, and also our corporate offices. So I get to work here 2 or 3 days a week. We also added in 2016, 17, we also added our main production facility, which is in Inca Candler. It's about 20 minutes west of here, which is a 70,000 square foot facility where we do all our clean sided production. Yeah, if you ever get back in Asheville, get a chance to visit that. It's really a cool facility. The tap room is located on the second level, so it overlooks the brewery itself. Plus the canyon line's right next to it too. It's so much fun and mesmerizing to watch. So that's where we are today. Did over 100,000 barrels from that production facility last year, and continue to grow. We just this past week we just got news that we're opening a new facility in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. It's going to be Wicked Weed Portsmouth. It's going to be a brewing facility right now for a while. So that was some exciting news this past week too.
Congratulations. What a great operation to be a part of, man.
Oh yeah. Continue to grow.
Well, okay. Well, I do get to Asheville. In fact, I'm coming back there, I don't know, sometime in the next month or two. And
well, you need to hit me up and I'll get you a tour of the pub. Send me an email and I'll get you signed up, and you definitely need to check out the other facilities too.
the Funkatorium, it's like totally, what a perfect, it's like you would only find the Funkatorium in Asheville, maybe
Oh, yeah.
someplace
Oh,
called
yeah.
Funkatorium. I love it. Well, okay, so how many, like, what is it that Wicked Weed has done so well? Because I thought Wicked Weed, I mean, honestly, I thought y'all had been around longer than that. Is incredible.
Yeah.
So we're talking about just what, 11 years now?
11 years, 10 and a half years right now. Yeah.
I know the acquisition helped a ton, but obviously the acquisition was because the brand had been doing so well. So what's the secret sauce at Wicked Weed?
Innovation, keeping it fresh. That's the big deal right now. It's just innovation with, our original objective was to bring hops to the South. That was the original objective, and it's kind of grown from that point. Obviously Pernicious, our most popular brand, was the first IPA to win a medal at the Great American Beer Festival that was east of the Mississippi in 2015, and that's really what threw us on the map for that side of those beers. Now, originally, the sour beers was what put us on the map. Unique production, just because a lot of breweries don't make them, and they're pretty justified in why they kind of shy away from them for obvious reasons. But
Gotcha. And how did you get? I mean, you got an offer there. Like, what happened? I mean, it's such a unique transition from retiring as a coach and a math teacher to hanging out at a brewery.
Oh yeah, being an avid home brewer, I love to brew. That's one of my passions at home. I'll brew every couple of weeks. When the opportunity arose, I was very fortunate that the two people that were interviewing me both had parents that were teachers. And
Wow.
so that was obviously a nice little inside move, a plus to be able to get in this position. Interviewed in April, got a call back that same day and said, "Yep, we want you to be a part of it." And of course, through attrition, some people have left. I've kind of just stepped into some other roles and got a little higher up in terms of what we're doing here. Yeah, really interesting how life changes.
How many employees y'all have now?
Right now, a little over 340.
340. So, okay, so tell me about what's happening in New Hampshire. When is that going to open?
So it's just going to be a brewing facility. So we have been experimenting brewing Pernicious there for the past 6 to 7 months, playing around with the recipe, trying to get it dialed in to what we're doing here. Just found out this past week that AB said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and just make it yours." So we're going to be doing our lagering program there, as well as Pernicious and some other of our brands are going to be brewed there too, which will hopefully, obviously with that aspect, give us a chance to expand in some other areas. Because right now, honestly, during COVID, we couldn't keep up with demand. Some of our facilities got kind of overrun, and so we were looking for other avenues to brew to be able to get our product out there.
Okay, so 12 New Hampshire. And why New Hampshire? Just out of curiosity, is it?
We had been working with that facility. They've been doing a lot of contract brewing
Okay.
through AB. So it was just a perfect fit. I said, "Why not? Let's go for it." So yeah, exciting news.
That's very exciting news. What? So tell me about the culture there, man.
Fantastic place to work. Very family oriented. Obviously, the families are still involved in the company itself. They take care of you. We have a couple of fellowships a year where they shut down all the facilities. We all get together and drink, eat, and have fun. Families always welcome to those styles of events. Yeah, they really take care of you. I've been very excited to be here and very blessed, obviously, to have opportunities to do other things. But these beer education courses, now I get to talk to adults and people that want to be here instead of high school math kids, which is a huge plus. And there's beer involved too. But yeah, great culture here, continues to grow. You see a lot of job openings, but most of the time that's because people have been elevated and moved up to another position. So yeah, it's really a plus.
A lot of breweries in Asheville.
Yeah, over, I think, 48 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just in Asheville. Just recently, I was looking at the numbers the other day. Just recently, we surpassed 90 now here in Western North Carolina. And they're opening up left and right. It's hard to believe that they continue to open.
That many in Asheville. I mean, on a per capita basis, that's got to be one of the highest.
It's getting close. It's getting close. I was doing some data search the other day. I noticed the highest per capita is still in Vermont in terms of state-wise, but we got to be getting close. Got to be getting close.
And for state, well, I bet for the city though. I mean, I'm trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
think of cities. I mean, maybe somewhere on, I don't know, Portland maybe, but
Portland,
yeah.
I think maybe at this particular time. Yeah. And
Yeah,
here it's all because of the water.
All right, y'all. Time for a little mid-episode break to talk about Kickfin, our mid-episode sponsor and a great business. Thousands of restaurants, bars, and breweries use Kickfin to tip out their employees instantly, no cash required. With Kickfin, tips go directly to your employer's bank of choice the second their shift ends. It's a really simple solution to a really big problem, because if you're still paying out credit card tips in cash, it's costing you. Time-consuming bank runs and cash counting take managers away from work that matters. Cash is hard to track, which leads to accounting headaches, and it creates the perfect opportunity for theft, human error, and compliance issues. Bottom line, there's never been an instant, secure way to pay out tips until Kickfin. It's an easy-to-use software that sends real-time cashless tip payouts straight to your employees' bank accounts 24/7, 365. Kickfin gives managers hours back in their day, makes reporting a breeze, and protects your business from risk. Most importantly, employees love it. Restaurants can have Kickfin up and running overnight. Employees can enroll in seconds. No hardware, no contracts, no setup fees. Visit kickfin.com for a personalized demo and see how restaurants across the country are digitizing tips with Kickfin. That's what they like me to read. I will tell you this. I know the folks at Kickfin. Check out the episode with Brian Hassan, the co-CEO of Kickfin, was on here on the podcast. Great people, love what they do. They treat their customers well. We have mutual customers that love the product and love the way they, the relationship they have with Kickfin. So check it out, link in the show notes, and let's check out the rest of this episode.
Our water is extremely soft. Has a very low mineral content. With that being said, it's extremely easy to clean to get that blank canvas for our brewers. And that's the reason the push happened here is the same reason the push happened in Colorado. It's mountain spring water.
Mountain spring water. So, okay. So at elevation, it's softer. Explain what that means, softer water. I mean, I know I've heard soft.
Just
That means
very low mineral content.
okay.
Very low mineral content. So I'll give you my perspective as a home brewer. I run my water through an RV filter. By the time that's done, there's a little bit of magnesium and sodium left, but it's pretty darn clean at that point. So that's the big draw. Yeah, a lot of our guests on tours talk about their hair feels different when they take a shower, and I always show them my head because I'm halfway bald, so I wouldn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. So mountain spring water, easy to clean, makes just fresh taste.
Oh, yeah.
And then, okay. And then you're able to, well, you'll have the other one up north, but you're able to distribute that to, are the 12 states primarily southeast or
Northeast, southeast.
northeast, southeast?
Northeast, southeast. Yeah.
East Coast. Okay.
Yeah. Far west to Texas and a lot of the Northeast regions, the Metro New York, Pennsylvania, et cetera.
I mean, is there a limit geographically to how far you can distribute before you feel like you've got, so far to go that the product begins to, it's got a limited shelf life? I mean, Texas seems like a long way. Like, are you not able to go to the West Coast for that reason?
Yeah, not at this point. I mean, you start looking at different coasts, you start looking at the same situations that Sierra Nevada went through, Oscar Blues, New Belgium. You're going to have to build a facility in those areas to be able to make sure your product stays fresh.
So Sierra Nevada is there. I've heard they have a big facility there.
Oh man, it's gorgeous. If you get a chance to visit, it's well worth the trip. I call it Malt Beersley World. It's like Walt Disney and Willy Wonka together. Everything's copper. There are Oompa Loompas keeping that place going underneath. It's really a show. I mean, you drive up to that. They spent more on the drive-in than most people will spend on the brewery itself. 40+ million, I think it was, is what they spent on that place.
Oh my God. Where it's what is it, right outside of Asheville?
It's right next to the airport.
Oh,
so it's actually located in Mills River officially, but it's right just on the other side of the airport, the Asheville Regional Airport. Yeah, well worth the visit.
Who are some of the folks that have inspired you that you've learned from since you've been there?
Well, obviously, Nathan Smith was the gentleman that was in charge of our tour program who hired me. Great golfer, great guy. Now is in the real estate business. Found out he was a celiac and fell out. They couldn't. The beer industry probably wouldn't be good for him anymore. Yeah, it was a tough draw out. Company president Ryan Guthy's the son of the Guthys who originally started this business, was the financial backers, fantastic guy. And then Walt Dickinson, which is the other, one of the original co-founders too, who is here a whole lot of time. We'll spend time with you, always make sure and says hello. It's just some great people to be around. They're very concerned with their employees and concerned with their product. And that's, you know, while we've struggled getting pernicious done right up in Portsmouth right now, is we've read it 17 or 18 times, still haven't got it dialed in. They're very particular.
So what are the that many times, what keeps it from hitting?
It's funny. It's color. You can't get the color the same. There's some aftertaste that are different. Ryan and I were here about 2 months ago, and we had 8 cans of pernicious, 4 from Portsmouth and 4 from our facility here. 4 different batches from Portsmouth, but we were able to pick out those immediately, doing a tasting, a blind tasting. So it's hard. I mean, that's why Sierra Nevada dumped, you know, 250,000 barrels of beer in the process when they first came here, trying to get their recipes dialed in so it matched what they're doing in California.
250,000?
Yeah. I kept telling them they could just take it to my house.
Wow, no kidding.
They didn't. They dumped.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, I know, like, I'm for somebody that home brews, and I'm going to ask really basic questions, but is that because up north? I mean, is it basically, is it just the water? I mean, you obviously.
I don't think it's the water. I just think it's. I think you really have to.
What's that? You got your recipe. You got the
recipe. Yeah. And when we were concerned, because no matter where you are, the water is going to be stripped completely clean.
Okay.
That's a given. It's just a lot easier to do that here and more economical.
Okay.
So water can't be the issue. Even the malt, we're getting it from the same regional distributor. I think it has to do with the fact that the system there, they're 400 barrel fermenters. There's some issue with surface area. Hops interact with that surface area. So here at our production facility, we have 200 barrel fermenters. So I think they're struggling with that ratio. Still haven't found that ratio, but color's been off ever so slight, and just a slight aftertaste. It's not where it needs to be. It's pretty wild that you can't get something dialed in as technologically advanced as we are today, that you just can't throw it in and do the same thing. I know.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, you're a math guy. I'm thinking this is just a math problem, right? Like, so
yeah, well,
there's
a lot more chemistry involved in math.
Yeah, well, that's right. But it would just be a chemistry problem, but it's not. There's some art
There's
to
something.
it. Having to taste it and recognize the difference, then there's more than just that. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting. Very educational. How many tours do y'all do, like, on a weekly
So
basis?
last year, I just went through the numbers. So we'll do 5 tours a day. We do them at our pub, which is our original facility. They take about 40 minutes. Of course, that's our smallest of the facilities. What's unique about our pub, and I think you've been there before too, is the fact that beers that are produced there, they're going to stay there. They don't go anywhere else. They go maybe to other facilities, but they're going to stay in Asheville. So they do a lot of experimentation. I think I looked the other day, they've done over 850 different recipes at that facility.
Yours is one of them.
Beers tap new beers every Thursday, which New Beer Thursday, which today's the day. And they'll experiment. They just put an Australian sparkling ale on today and all that fun stuff too. But our tour is just at that facility. We give people a little bit about the history of the company, where the name comes from, and all those little minute details about the brewing process. Last year, I think we had over 5,000 people through just on our tour program there.
Tell me about the name.
So it's a Henry VIII story. So when you walk in our pub, there's that big picture of Henry VIII there to the right, just beyond the host stand. So you know anything about English history, he, of course, was not a nice guy. I always tell people he was very ugly. He weighed up eventually over 500 pounds. He had multiple venereal diseases. Yeah. And he also cut a few of his wives' heads off when he grew tired of them because they weren't having boys. So in the 16th century, everybody brewed their own beer. Monasteries were breweries, your workers, farmers, that's where you get the term farmhouse. Well, being the tyrant that he was, decided he was going to levy a tax on what they were buying to bitter their beer. A substance called gruit. was made by the monasteries. It's a very bitter tincture of herbs and spices, but it did a okay job of balancing out the sweetness. So when the brewers found out they're going to have to pay more, they said, we'll find something else. And they eventually did. They found hops growing in their backyard. Flemish immigrants had brought them across from continental Europe. Found out they worked better. Of course, when Henry, being the tyrant that he was, found out this was the information, he was ticked. So in 1519, he's quoted as saying that hops are a wicked and pernicious weed that must be eradicated from England.
So
That's where we get our name, as well as our pernicious IPA. So the story goes that Walt and Jessica, the siblings who were the brewers, found out, all right, we're going to do this. Let's go look up the history of hops. Found that story. That's where it comes from.
Wicked and pernicious weed. So wicked weed and then pernicious IPA. That's a cool story.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's on the back of most of our t-shirts too. So yeah.
Oh, I need to get a t-shirt. I need to get y'all some more. It's been a while since I've sent some hats and socks up there. You probably haven't, maybe since before you were there. We have Schedule Fly trucker hats and some tube socks.
Oh man, yeah. Do so. Maybe we can reciprocate.
Yeah, I'll like I said, I got to come up there in the next month or two, so I'll bring some your way for sure.
Yeah, you need to give me a shout out when you do, though, and we'll hook up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what else you got going on today?
No, nothing today. This day is my day off. I'm going to go home and bottle some. I got a bottle of an eggnog bourbon porter. Taste a stout that's been aging for 7 months, and then get ready to brew tomorrow morning. So.
Wait, eggnog bourbon porter.
Yeah.
Ooh. Are we gonna with the Wicked Weed label on it?
No, not yet. Not yet. So the one that you were talking about, let me tell you the little story behind the one that I think you mentioned in the briefing to me. So we do a Pit Me Pale series. It's the same base recipe. We'll do it 5 or 6 times a year. But for kicks and giggles, our head brewer, Charlie, let somebody pick out the hop profile for it. So I was fortunate enough for this last one to get to pick out the hop profile. Long story short, I always felt like our Pit Me Pales were too close to IPA. So I did get them to drop the IBUs down a little bit, those bitterness units. And then I chose, I think, Comet, El Dorado, and Chinook, I think it was, if I remember correctly. But it turned out very good, more like a classic pale ale. But yeah, it's fun for us because everybody's in the lottery to see who gets to pick out the next set of hops for the next Pit Me Pale. Yeah, that's that series.
That is cool. That is very cool. And then the one, tell me about the one. I'll let you go, but tell me about the one you have at home. What's the story on that?
Which one?
One you have at home that you were just talking about, the eggnog
bourbon.
Yeah.
So it's basically a nice middle range porter, and I will add. You can't obviously add eggnog to it because it's dairy and it will not last very long. So I'll just add some extract, and actually I use bullet bourbon to balance it out. So today is going to be the tasting day. I've got to go through and start playing around with the ratios and see how much I want to add of each. So yeah, and I also grow my own hops. So my house is I have my own little shed that my wife threw me out of the house because the kitchen got overran. So she said, we got to get you something else. So yeah,
where do you
have my little happy place. What's that?
Where do you grow your hops?
On the side of the house.
On the side of the house.
Yeah, I sure do. I've got Cascading Columbus right now. They're about 18, 19 feet tall. Cones are quarter size. I actually, in the fall, I will do a pale ale, which I'll pick them that morning and then use them that afternoon. So it's a fresh hopped pale ale.
Oh man, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun little hobby.
Yeah. Well, Tim, I will let you go. It's your day off. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to do this, man. You're an interesting dude, and I love your story.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. It's fun, and I appreciate what you guys do with your business. You guys do a fantastic job keeping us on track. We do appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate y'all. We appreciate the business. I appreciate your time. I will let you roll, and I will definitely be in touch when I'm heading that way, my man.
Please do so. Please do so. Love to get together. Have a good day.
See you, Tim. Thank you.
Hey, y'all, before you sign out on this episode, a couple of quick things. Number one, if you listen to us on iTunes, if you could give us a star rating and a comment, it would help so much. Same thing if you're on Spotify, follow us, or any platform that you're on. If you would just do whatever their rating or follow options are, What that does is it tells the algorithms that this content is good and meaningful and valuable, and it'll tell them to put it in front of more people. So thank you for doing that. If you take the second to do that, that'd be so awesome. And also, if your restaurant is either using Excel or you're using some software that's expensive and has a lot of bells and whistles you don't need, or maybe doesn't have great customer service, we'd love to take care of you at ScheduleFly. Simple, easy restaurant employee scheduling software, legendary customer service, 30-day free trial, schedulefly.com. My cell phone number's on the trial sign up page. Thank you for listening. See ya.